Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere in between two formerly tariffed nations. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025, and this is the TNAM AM Show here on the New American Media, the New American Media, TNAM, because the news always matters. That's right. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. Where is the files? Where are the files? I painted myself into a corner by saying where is, because it's plural. It's not where is the thing, it's where are the things. MLK, RFK, JFK. What else do I have to say? We didn't start the. Have you heard the cover of that song by Fall Out Boy? It's okay. It's good. It's a little woke. It's a little woke. It's a little on the woke side. But it's good. It's a very good cover. It's Fall Out Boy used updated references in that, and it's neat. It's a fun. I can't believe other bands hadn't thought to man, we could put 100 new references in here and turn it into something on our own. So you could check that one out. I like Fall Out Boy a lot. I think they're fantastic. I love singing along to their songs. Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. Love these guys. They make some really good music. All right. We are streaming live on Facebook. So that's good. I'm trying to confirm that we are on Rumble. It appears as though we are, but it's having a hard time loading. Look, boom. Looks like we are in. I also want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Will they be going to the White House? Hearing a lot of stories there, so we will talk about that. We're going to talk about what is going on at the FBI. Did they drag out Kash Patel's confirmation, so that they could destroy evidence? Oh my gosh, Ben, hi. If you know the show, you know that I have cats, and you know that they like to jump in here as soon as I start broadcasting. Yeah, meow, hi. You want to jump up here, walk in front of the screen like Nimbus does? I'm a cat fan. I'm a cat man. They used to call me the cat whisperer. We went and found, I don't know, did the trap neuter return program on about 135 cats in my last neighborhood in Los Angeles. It was something that was needed. And so that's what we did. We took care of it. We did what we could to, as Bob Barker used to tell us, have your pets spayed and neutered. Have your pets spayed and neutered. And so now I got my buddies, got a couple kitties that I adopted from Los Angeles with me. So here's a reminder. This would be a great day for you to go adopt a wonderful feline friend. They're low maintenance, except when I'm doing shows. Then they'll talk to me. They'll do a lot of meowing. Oh, he's talking to me too. They're both talking to me. This is going to make for an interesting show. I think they're pretty hungry. Oh, that's my bad. All right, let's jump into the news and walk through our Instagram feed. So before we get started, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit the thumbs up, hit the hearts, hit the notification bell, all of the things. I'm going to ask that you follow the New American Media on all of our platforms, because we have been disabled by Meta more times than I can count. Both on Facebook and Instagram, inexplicably, no reason given. And we have been demonetized, and they've removed content and shadow banned on YouTube, Google. So here's how you find us. We're on Rumble and YouTube for our videos, the New American Media, because the old American Media failed. We are on Facebook. We have a page. Instagram, we have a page. Truth Social, we have a page. The New American Media. We're on Patreon if you wanted to donate. I mean, that's always fantastic because we're entirely crowdfunded. If you wanted to send us a wonderful $2 bill, That's fantastic. We do have a P.O. box for that. Don't normally give that out, but we're on patreon.com/the new American media. You can sign up for $5 a month, $15 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Whatever you can give will drastically change the opportunities that we are able to have over here. So patreon.com/the new American media. We're on PayPal at Fuzz Installment. We're on Cash App at $ Brian Engelman. And we are on Venmo at Brian Engelman. So those are the ways you can link up with us. Also, Telegram and Truth Social. We're on TNAM, and TNAM Chat. TNAM and TNAM Chat on Telegram and Signal. Those are like our two backup channels. I think we can have them all private. I don't know how it entirely works. I'd like to grow those platforms a little bit, but you can find us over there. Also, the TNAM AM Show is part of the umbrella of the Agree to Disagree Show. So I put that podcast up, the Agree to Disagree Show podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, etc. And you go ahead and search for the Agree to Disagree Show. I'm going to go through what we shared yesterday on our Instagram feed. This one isn't necessarily newsworthy.
Huh?
I got a big reward for you.
Other than
You can help me find a ring.
just something
Let's go.
like what I saw.
I'll find
An
it.
engagement ring right there where that
Let's
girl's
start our day off
nice
with something
tendon.
nice. He lost
go.
his engagement ring.
She
I
dropped,
got
is
a
it
big
gold?
reward for it.
It's platinum
Platinum?
with diamond.
So,
Nice.
you know,
I don't take any money, by the way, so don't even try to give me money.
every now and then,
Is it in this area?
a nice
Great.
story
This is
showing
where the
humanity,
chair was. Like, I
helping
took it
each
off
other.
with
Like,
sunscreen on,
you get
like, it
really
made it.
wrapped
Can you
up.
move? Whose are these? Are these yours?
Absolutely
So,
wrapped
we
up
were
in the
here
politics
earlier
of the day,
today,
the
but, like, we were
divisiveness of
eating
the day.
the boiled peanuts, and we were right here.
Just sometimes, you know, it's good to show a good self-defense shooting, a good self-defense act.
I believe it's going to be right here.
Bad guy is stopped from harming an innocent person.
He found a
Sometimes
beacon.
it's nice to be
Maybe.
a human helping a human.
This is where we think.
That's what we found here. This just happened to be at the top of my feed, so I will let it play and show
Something
you.
there.
I mean, imagine how helpful this was. I think they're 2 weeks away from their wedding.
Might be. It might not be.
I guess we're starting with our moment.
Is that
of
it?
right off the top.
Oh!
Is that it? That's a nice daggone ring. Heavy too.
Oh my
Huh?
god.
Look at that.
I'm like, I don't even know you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You about ruined, this about ruined
I'm crying.
We're getting married.
Oh, that's
Thank
okay.
you.
I'm glad I could do that for
Oh my
you.
god.
We're getting married in 2 weeks.
2
and I'm
weeks.
like,
Oh, congratulations.
Tram car.
No. Seriously, I told you I'd find that. It's so.
You don't know what you just did for us.
Huh?
I got a big reward for you.
That's
You can
awesome.
help me find.
It's just, you know, that just happened to be in the feed, so we'll show it. Now let's get to the meat of the news. Yeah, starting with a moment of Zen is kind of weird, but I'll take it. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says, Americans do not support funding a proxy war in Ukraine against Russia. America is broke at $36 trillion in debt. Our dollar's value is suffering. Inflation is hurting Americans. Americans overwhelmingly support Doge. Cutting stupid, wasteful spending and stopping fraud is what they are cheering for and demanding. Americans want a U.S. government focused on helping Americans and returning America to greatness. This is what the election mandate is all about. Putting America first. I'm just going to type put America first button. Marjorie is absolutely correct here. I guess I'll mute this because our copyright laws are really ridiculous. I understand protecting copywritten material, but I don't understand the enforcement of, if I played you this video, they could flag this video and say, you're not allowed to share this. Certain countries are not allowed to see this. And so this is a march in Britain. They're playing the YMCA and they're calling for deportations now. Their country has been invaded under the Obama doctrine. Yes, it's a global, it's not a phenomenon. It's not a crisis. It's a planned invasion. It's a Cloward and Piven strategy to overwhelm the system, flood the zone, absolutely overwhelm the capabilities of these places, and you overthrow them. You change their demographics permanently, and nobody wants that. I do not want 30,000 non-Ohio State Buckeye fans getting dumped into Columbus. No. There's shared culture, there's shared tradition, there's shared history, there's camaraderie, there's loyalty, there's trust, there's shared experiences. That's culture. That's what culture is. You don't just turn up over the bucket and dump 30,000 where they said they're eating the dogs and eating the cats and eating the geese. Yeah, these are stories that were reported. Oh, and they were laughed about. You dump people from different cultures in, they're going to be doing different things. I don't want Michigan fans living in Columbus. I don't want 30,000 people from anywhere. I don't want 30,000 Russians. I don't want 30,000 Ukrainians. I don't want 30,000 Israelis. I don't want 30,000 Palestinians. I don't want 30,000 Venezuelans. I don't want 30,000 Swiss. I don't want 30,000 anything. You gently meld a group together. You gently allow a little bit of immigration if they're going to walk through the front door, not the back door. If they're going to learn the language, if they're going to learn our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our way of life, they're going to commit themselves to acting that way and representing that type of freedom of speech and Second Amendment rights to defend ourselves. And if you don't like it, you can get the hell back out. You don't just dump tens of millions of people into America and expect to get away with it. You don't just overtake Britain and make no-go zones and the locals are being attacked by non-residents. It's insane. It's insane. It's also insane. Look the guy dancing. You see him doing he's kind of doing like a pseudo Trump, just kind of like a sped up Trump. And it's like the song YMCA now has turned into like, let's defend our nation from an invasion. This truly is a golden timeline, people. This timeline is golden. Check this out. Ann Wexley. Look at that raised eyebrow. Look at this image. You now have Dan Bongino. What is he? A deputy director of the FBI? Assistant director of the FBI? I actually forget the specific title. I guess he's number 2 behind Kash Patel. Dan Bongino, former Secret Service guard. I don't know if he's looking at Hillary, but it looks like he's looking at Hillary. Dan knows. Bring down the entire house of cards. Defend and restore America. That's the comment. We are leaving. Look at that picture. It's just amazing to think about how far you go. To look forward, you got to look backwards sometimes. He's got to have immense disdain for her because of Russiagate, because of her treason. She's committed treasonous acts. This gentleman, Damani Felder, he says, if you're proud of your race as a minority, but hate white people for theirs, congratulations, you're a racist. Does that make sense? Is that sinking in? Are we finally understanding how divisive the Obama doctrine has been of division and destruction? Hi, Nimbus. So I'm going to say there we go. The Obama doctrine of division and destruction is finally being exposed and reversed. Hi, buddy. You see Nimbus giving me a handshake? Hi, guy. Can I finish my show and then I'll give you some more breakfast or lunch, brunch, mister? I think Damani's onto something here. This double standard of trying to make people feel guilt about who they are, ashamed of who they are, and constantly trying to praise all sorts of groups as long as you're not other groups. It's nuts. Enough. America did not used to be fixated on this. By the way, if you look at this, moving on to the next topic from Forever Sovereign, look at all of the angry faces and the gurs and the clenched fists. I agree with this gentleman 100%. Having had half of my family removed because of COVID, I'm not stopping until we bring Anthony Fauci to justice. Will not stop.
Even forget?
Absolutely not. I'm full of vengeance. I am vengeful. It's not a time to say I'm sorry. It's a time to put these bastards in jail. I'm calling it the big kill. We've seen the biggest kill ever in medicine's history, directly because of the intervention of these idiots into healthcare. And it's the physicians, it's not just the politicians, it's the physicians themselves who are principally culpable because they have allowed governments jackboots to influence how they manage their patients, which has never, ever happened before. First, do no harm and informed consent. The physicians have looked in. How can you do this? How can you look into the eyes of a pregnant woman and tell her that this experimental product is safe? How can you do that as a physician? No. Any physician that has done that should be in jail.
Agreed. You know, look, I will say that Mr. Nimbus here, he was really, really, really struggling. A lot of people recommended an mRNA medicine for him to get his creaky joints moving. And now he's jumping up on things again and running around up and down the stairs and having a good old time. mRNA is new technology, but it's not new, I guess. Like this, I'm actually drawing a blank on the name of it. They're not a sponsor, so I don't need to pump them up here. But I guess dogs and cats have been receiving these monthly injections for a long time, and it's been really helping them, and it's really helped him. Kind of brought him back. I was worried, man, when he couldn't move. Like, you start running out of options. You're like, I can't. Like, where do we go when you can't move? So, you know, this technology. Robin, good morning, Robin, and hello, sweet Nimbus. I'll give you a headbutt again. He's like the Tootsie Roll guy. Wait, where are we at? Here, show headbutt. Now he's purring. Yeah, he's a sweet guy, but he's the Tootsie Roll Pop, the owl. 1, 2, 3, 3. Yes, good morning, Robin. Question of the day, Robin, what are you looking forward to? And everybody else out there, please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit the hearts, hit the thumbs up, share our content, and just say, hey, we found this cool show. They unpack the news and try to have fun with it. It's all over the place, but it's kind of like how my brain works, all over the place. They pack a ton of information, great stuff in. You should watch. But yeah, however you're watching, tell me your name or your initials and tell me where you're watching from and what are you looking forward to? I'm feeling very positive right now. I'm looking forward to my next stand-up act. I was writing it last night. I got to do some revisions today. Then I got to take those revisions and tighten those up and get ready for another set. I'm loving it. Loving it. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm finally going for it. So that's something I'm looking forward to. What are you looking forward to? I will not forgive and forget. I am full of vengeance too. We're going to say reap the whirlwind button. To all the people, to the Democrats who are saying, we didn't vote for this. We did, and we won. End of story. Sit down, shut up. Reap the whirlwind button. Reap it. Yeah, now sit down, shut up, and brace yourselves for the fury of hell being unleashed upon the traitors. So sick of it. So sick of it. You know, look, 19 hours ago, I put this comment up there. I have no interactions with it. It's hilarious. This is Elon Musk dropping these golf balls and the Donald Trump hitting them on the one bounce. Our comment was 4 more years. FORE. That's what you yell when you hit a shot and it might hit the group in front of you. It's like, kind of watch out. There's a ball coming. Get, brace yourself or duck behind something or, protect your head, shield yourself. 4 more years. Come on. That's a great comment. No interactions with this. Come on. Go to the New American Media on Instagram. Find this golf thing. And hit the heart button. That deserves a heart. But anyway, Elon is dropping all these. This is pretty cool that someone is like learning how to hit golf balls in midair. That's not, it's hard enough to hit a baseball, but hitting a little golf ball with a little golf club head. Okay. There's the lift card agenda. Smack. DEI. Smack. Local policies. Smack. Affirmative action. Smack. Made in China. Smack. There you go. Let's just get rid of those things and focus on the important stuff. Yeah, there we go. 4 more years. We only had 4 people take a look at it. We have 1,000 people following us on our Instagram, but very few people find it because we're super shadow banned. I would love to know how to undo that. Jeez. Freedom Chronicles here. Them saying, I hope you get what you voted for. Us saying, oh, we are. Here's the, I like what they did here. This is like the classic internet thing now. It will always be a classic. The FAFO, but now on one axis it's Cash and on the other it's Bongino.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
That's pretty funny. Here's a report. Now, I want to unpack this, and I'm seeing this reported. I would like a little bit of double check and confirmation. I'm going to report that other people are reporting this. I don't know this to be true. And look, most of the time I'm presenting stories to be true. I'm assuming they are true. And I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And I'm always willing to change an opinion based on new information. By the way, I do have concerns about what we find out when Pam Bondi eventually, hopefully, releases these RFK, JFK, 9/11, Vegas shooting, Marilyn Monroe, UFO, Epstein, Diddy, all of these files. You know, I'm concerned, are we going to get the actual files, or did they cook the books now? Did we give them enough time? Is the FBI running roughshod over there, deleting evidence and covering things up? I mean, 51 intelligence officials say that the Hunter Biden laptop has all the classic earmarks of Russian disinformation. You shouldn't believe crazy Trump. You should put us in charge so that we can continue looting your country like a bunch of freaking traitorous pirates. That's been our intelligence agencies for the past how many decades? Forever? Since forever. I don't know when the coup occurred. Was it when they offed Kennedy? They, whoever they are? Yeah. Gage Maverick here says, why would U.S. aid pay Hollywood celebrities our tax dollars to meet Zelensky? Is this one Sean Penn walking in to meet Zelensky? You're saying Van Damme got $1.5 million, Stiller got $4 million, Sean Penn got $5 million, Orlando Bloom got $8 million, Angelina Jolie got $20 million. The context added, they're just saying Stiller wasn't paid $4 million. Now, how do you know that? But I'll mute the sound. There you go. There's Sean Penn walking in. Sean Penn, when's the last time he was relevant? There's Stiller walking in. Muting the music. I'm so sick of muting music. There's all these we're instead of tired, we're gonna say we're done with the propaganda button. So let's dig into exactly who got paid and how much. And they covered up what we said. I can't even see what we said. How do we get that the hell off of here? All right, I guess we can't. Moving on. So here's Dan Bongino. Do you think Adam Schiff is happy about what's going on? Well, if you were him, maybe not.
Be good mood today. If you only knew. You ever hear that House on Fire song? It's one of his old songs. This guy's on fire, just like the band. That house on fire. He is on fire, Schiff. Well, 100% success rate of failing. Why is Adam Schiff so worried? Folks, I strongly encourage you to go back and take another look today at the Russia collusion hoax. I know it's a story that's old and a lot of people want to move on. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't want to move on. We had the FBI in conjunction with the Department of Justice, officials in Congress, foreign governments, and intel people fabricate a story, invent a story that could have caused and done serious long-term harm to international relations with a nuclear-powered foe. It's kind of a big freaking deal. I'm not letting it go. And you listen to me. This is going to be very important in the coming days.
We're not letting it go.
I'm not letting this go.
Nope. America, we are not letting any of this go. No, we're not moving on. We cannot move forward until we fix the corrupt system that's been framing people, committing treason, manipulating the minds of our kids, grooming our kids, turning our youth into crazy, radical Marxists, angry, self-loathing humans at the direction of Barack Hussein Obama and the Department of Education in the corrupt deep state media system. This is an organized effort to radically, we're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. No, we don't want radical transformation into some Marxist hellscape. We want to return to our American principles. Thank you very much. Good morning, David Ban. I haven't seen you comment before. Thanks for joining us. David, where are you watching from? What region of Earth are you watching from? And what are you looking forward to? Robin, what are you looking forward to? I actually forget where you're at. We get a lot of people in Florida. Are you Florida, or am I confusing you with somebody else? I try to keep things organized, but I digress. No, you do not ever forget. You do not let these people off the hook. You indict all of them because they were clearly engaged in treason. Clearly engaged with treason. Spygate, Russiagate, the FISA warrants, the fake indictments, the assassination attempts, Russian collusions, hoaxes, fine people hoaxes. It's just hoax after hoax after hoax with these people. Can't let them off the hook. It is time to now investigate the J6 committee. How they tried to frame Trump for an insurrection. He's like, now I want you to peacefully and patriotically go make your voices heard. Like, insurrection. He's on Twitter going, I'm urging peace. I don't want any violence. Go home. Be peaceful. Remember, the police are on our side. So they banned him off Twitter so you couldn't see him saying that. Because if you saw him saying that, their insurrection claims would have been debunked. So you know what they did? They kicked him off. They depersoned him. That's what the deep state will do to you and me. And Trump, one of the most powerful things he's ever said is, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I just happen to be in the way. And so this is the only chance we've had in our entire lives to right the ship, to course correct, to jettison the cargo that's holding us back, all of the traitors, send them all to Guantanamo. Obama, Biden, Clinton, all of them. I'm not kidding. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not trying to be edgy. They are literal treasonous vermin who have been looting this country blind, trying to radically transform what this is. Every chance possible, trying to demonize the use of self-defense so that we're scared and we let the criminal dirtbags run roughshod while they steal our money, devalue the purchase power of our dollar, make it harder or impossible for us to live a life while they're on Easy Street, where they're kicking it on their vacations, their multiple homes in Martha's Vineyard, on the coast here and there, off Los Angeles, off in San Francisco, in Hawaii. Oh, I have a villa here. I have a villa there. That's our money that's being stolen. And oh my gosh, we are so thankful. We are so lucky. We should be grateful and thankful that Elon is using his skills, the same ones that he's used to purchase Twitter and unplug 90% of the bloat and start fixing things, improving things, running leaner, efficiently, productively. It's what our nation has to do. Whatever systems, and it needs to be full steam ahead. Republicans have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency. This is the time to do a nationwide voter rights bill. You must require identification and verification that these people are who they say they are. And you do not allow mail-in voting. Yes, for military. Yes, under super extreme circumstances, the tiniest number possible with triple verification. Everyone has a cell phone. There should be a way that you do a proof of life that matches. It should be a process to have to be allowed to do a vote by mail. Not Zuckerberg paying hundreds of millions of dollars for drop boxes, unsecured, insecure drop boxes in the 7 fraud states or swing states that magically paused and magically flipped in 2020. We lived through a coup, and the same deep state that overthrew Trump in 20 by fortifying the election. Read the Time magazine article about them fortifying the election. The same crew that tried to put a bullet into Donald Trump in Butler, the one that tried to take him out on a golf course in Florida. That same group is still around. And until they are dealt with, until they are prosecuted, we're going to have problems in this country. Luckily, most of America, all we're asking for is common sense. Would any of us give a shit what the deep state's doing with geopolitics and, they're funding this and they're funding that? If you're not running a deficit on the credit card to $36 trillion, kind of like, what would we care? Why would we care? How could you care? But they're doing it to destroy our way of life, and we've had enough. No, we're not letting them off the hook. Never.
I want to find out what happened because it can never happen again. Not to a Democrat, not to a Republican, not to a Libertarian, not to any United States citizen. You do not get to alter or try to change the course of electoral politics by fabricating a story, hijacking the justice system then to give the patina of truth to a fake story. You don't get to do that. Why do I bring that up now? Because who is the ringmaster of that circus? Yes, Adam Schiff. And no, I'm not letting it go. Particularly good mood today. If you only knew. You ever hear that House on Fire song? It's one of his old songs. This guy's on.
Yeah, it was Adam Schiff, but it was Barack Hussein Obama. It was Hillary Clinton. It was the deep state. It was a lot of things. We're asking, is this real? Republican Party is putting this out there. Is this like the official Republican Party? I don't know. But here's a report. Take it for what it is. Vladimir Putin allegedly saying Russia is ready to supply the United States with 2 million tons of aluminum, which would help stabilize prices. The U.S. is the largest importer of aluminum, and this will help drive down the costs of so many things. I don't know. But that's something that's being reported. I can never really trust the I don't speak Russian. I don't know how to confirm if that's actually what's being said. This is on Sputnik. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled on that story, because as early as this week, Pam Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi, was saying that we might be able to reach a peace deal with Ukraine and Russia. So you're starting to see terms floated out, mineral rights deals with Ukraine, aluminum deals with Russia. America's like, all right, how are we gonna? What do we do here? How do we get pot committed so that we have an interest in just calming this down and getting some successes? So be ready. Any moment now, you might hear that there's a ceasefire. The deep state don't want that. My God, they've had a hard on. They have been absolutely fixated on attacking the Russians. You can feel however you want about it. The NATO expansion after Gorbachev said, in 1990, no more NATO, no more going east, and it just keeps creeping. Russia's like, hey man, you got to stop this stuff. And they've tried to get in NATO. They're like, we're not a bad guy. We helped you in World War II. Like we've teamed up with the good guy. Like, what are we doing? I don't get the fascination with continuously poking the Russian bear, trying to instigate a third world war, potentially a nuclear world war. So yeah, I'm against that. So if we could find a way to get to the bottom of it, I would be very happy. Robin saying, holy crap, heard this morning that Soros was paid $260 million by USAID to destroy our own country. Yeah. That's what's been happening. We've been targeted and robbed so that they could fund the attacks upon us. It's nuts. So honestly, voting for a Democrat ever again, I couldn't think of a more ridiculous. Never a Democrat, never Democrats. That party should be shattered to 1,000 pieces and scattered to the winds. They do not have the consent of the governed. David, what's up? Mississauga. Am I saying that right? Mississauga? Is that an Indian name? Mississauga? That sounds like Cuyahoga. That's the Cuyahoga River in Cleveland. Not too far from Ontario. Actually, kind of Lake Erie, and you got Windsor, you got Detroit, you got Windsor, Ontario, and Cleveland and Lake Erie. Mississauga. All right, awesome. David is agreeing with us here. Thank you. Glad you found us. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, David. Thank you. He says he's looking forward to people being arrested for their criminal actions. Yes. Oh, that's right, Robin. You were in Jacksonville. You said you're northern or Georgia, and you were talking to Ken about being Florida. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, Ron DeSanctimonious. We'll get to, actually, I have him on the screen right now. Let's talk about little Ronnie D, as I call him. You're saying, Robin's saying, definitely need to see some arrests right after we RV. What's RV? Right after we RV. After we get in our RV? After we buy an RV and go camping? What does RV mean? Yeah, but we definitely need to see some arrests. All right, let's talk about Ron DeSanctimonious. Yeah, I know, David. It's all so corrupt. This is the only chance we've ever had to like steer our country. You up in Canada, man, you got to get Pierre Poilievre in there immediately. We need strong neighbors to the north, and y'all need to eject your illegal aliens. Your country is being changed from the inside, invaded, radically transformed into something Marxist and dangerous. Look at the UK, look at Sweden, look at Ireland, look at Scotland, look at America, look everywhere. The Obama doctrine is to dump people from parts unknown, China, Kazakhstan, Central America, South America, Africa, Middle East, dumping millions of people into established communities to forever alter who they are. That is unacceptable. Canada, get your together. You're our neighbor to the north. We love you. And I know when Trump's like, oh, Trudeau in our 51st state and Governor Trudeau. Trudeau's a joke. He's a globalist. He's a traitor to you and your people. That's why Trump's giving him shit. We love you. Don't ever boo our national anthem in hockey ever again. Let it be said. I'm not going to back away from that. But Canada, you're our brothers. But you got to restore your Second Amendment rights up there immediately. If you're not strong, you need to have You need to have multiple firearms wherever you are in Canada. You're our neighbors to the north. If you're not strong, we are weak. We are vulnerable. I want you to be as strong as possible. All right, let's get to little Ronnie D, Ron DeSanctimonious. But look, here's a win. This sounds like a really great idea.
Get their citizens to higher taxes, such as higher property taxes, to pay for these spending habits. And these property taxes, it's like you buy a home, you buy land, maybe you buy the home outright, but maybe you pay off a mortgage over 30 years. And then, okay, you've paid off the mortgage, you bought the land, you've been taxed many times. It's like, is it your property or not? Just for being on your property, you got to write a check to the government every year. So you're basically paying rent to the government to live on your own property. And our homestead exemption is not strong enough to help these folks because the property gets assessed so high. And that's the thing. If you buy a home for $300,000 and there's certain tax, well, then what? 10 years later, they say it's worth $700,000. And so, and they say, there's homestead stuff that helps protect you to a certain extent, but you're paying more. And a lot of people can't afford that. So I think that.
Yeah. The theoretical, hypothetical value, that's nonsense. You want to generate some tax revenue, find another way. Stop penalizing people who are trying to build up a little bit of an existence. Why do people who are renting they're immune from this? No, enough. These property taxes are out of control everywhere. You got to stop it. You got to get out of our lives. You have to get out of our lives. And when you get on fixed income and over time you pay something off and you're like, okay, I got it now. And you keep increasing. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want you. No, stop knocking on my door with your hand out. Spend the little money that you get more wisely. Don't waste it on monkey gambling parties through USAID. Oh, we're funding monkey gambling research. Oh, are you? Hey, we built a treadmill for shrimp. Do that with your own dollars. By the way, here's my proposal for Doge. I want, when you send out these $5,000 Doge dividend checks, I want you to include a postage paid envelope, and inside that envelope, I would like you to list 50 of the craziest things that USAID has been spending your tax dollars on. Would you like to fund a trans opera in Uruguay? Do you want to send $50 million of condoms to Mozambique? Okay. Let's list 50 of the craziest things that our money is being wasted on. You don't waste money when you're in debt. You pay off your debt. That's the rule. So I want a self-addressed envelope, the postage paid. The Doge check comes inside that postage paid envelope, inside the envelope It lists the 50 crazy things, and then it says, if you would like to donate this check to any of these pet projects, please put a checkbox on as many of them as you would like us to send money to, and we will prorate it. If you click all 50, we'll do 1/50th, and we'll send each person $100 or whatever the math is, $10, $100. We will send it to them. I would love to see if anybody sends their checks back to personally finance crazy shit.
That's a big issue, and I know we're going to be really looking at ways to bring people relief from that, because I think it's been really something that's pinching a lot of homeowners, particularly seniors on fixed income. But the reality is people have seen, and this is not the state, we don't control this, we've not allowed any of that stuff to happen. We've been cutting taxes, but people have seen their property tax liability go up over these last years because the property is being assessed higher and higher. And the reality is you don't really know how much your home is worth until someone offers you money and is willing to pull the trigger on a sale. That's how a market works. You can say it's worth this much, but if no one's willing to come and offer you that much, then why should you pay taxes on that amount? And so there's a lot of things.
Why should you pay taxes on that amount? I don't know. Ron's a little whiny for me. And he really rubbed me the wrong way when he went up against Trump. As the deep state is trying to off Trump in every way imaginable, that's the time that you rally behind him. He tried to become president a couple years ago, and it did not work, and it forever drove a wedge between me and, I call him Little Ronnie D. Oh, what you got in your fridge? Oh, I got some OJ, some purple stuff. Got some Little Ronnie D. Ooh, Ronnie D. Remember that commercial for Sunny D? Anyway.
Things that need to be done with that. But as part of our DOGE initiative, our state task force will look into local government expenditures by utilizing publicly subject their citizens to higher taxes.
By using publicly available information to stop anything that's not essential. All right, so check this out. This is being shared by Wealth. I've seen this in a few places. I'm looking for some confirmation, but hearing stories now that President Trump has said 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico will go forward. So does that now mean that I can no longer say in the intro to my own show, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere in between two formerly tariffed nations? Because if they're going to be currently tariffed, that's going to change. If this leads to the long overdue elimination of the Federal Reserve, private banking cartel, and the income tax, then so be it. Donald Trump allegedly saying it will be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again. Man, I want to be liquid and rich. Here is Dave Smith. You want to talk about NATO? You want to talk about Russia? You want to talk about Ukraine? Here's a perspective.
The head of NATO, Stoltenberg himself admitted, right, that before Vladimir Putin invaded, he said to NATO, he goes, if you just put it in writing that you won't bring Ukraine into NATO, I won't invade. But if you don't give me that in writing, I'm going to invade the country. And Stoltenberg bragged about how he said, we refused because we're not going to be bullied by Vladimir Putin or something like that. This was the simple ask that Vladimir Putin had. And what a reasonable ask. And that doesn't mean like he's still wrong for invading and he killed a whole lot of people and that's just totally unjustified. And he's a war criminal, just like all the US presidents are war criminals too. And I have no love for Vladimir Putin.
Well, I would push back on that. Tell me where Donald Trump is a war criminal. He's going around fixing deep state problems. Obama creates ISIS, Trump stops it. Yeah. You wonder where they came from? That was Obama. Taking charge of the military leaders and saying, here's where you're going to attack, here's where you're not going to attack. Yeah, he was the bad guy, creating the bad guys. McCain, it's just madness. Psychopaths have been playing the chessboard for far too long. But anyway, I'm just going to push back on the Trump thing. I don't know, if you're the commander in chief and there are a couple of targeted military strikes, That's far different from being a war criminal, but I think he's talking about Obama, Bush, Clinton.
But I'm sorry, the starting point of just asking, like just saying you cannot bring our biggest neighboring country into your military alliance is totally reasonable. And we would have the exact same demand. There is no way the United States of America would allow Mexico or Canada or Cuba to join a military alliance with China or Russia. There's just no way, no conceivable way we could allow that to happen, because no regime can allow that. The head.
So, you know, there's some perspective for you, as hopefully we're getting to the bottom of this. By the way, Diddy's lawyer is now quitting, and this is a point of view of Diddy's lawyer.
My client should go right to fucking jail. The son of a bitch is guilty. That man is guilty.
My client is guilty.
That man is a slime. He is a slime.
All right, I'm going to mute it so I don't get copyright. He's saying, my client should go to jail. He's guilty. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say here, Diddy needs to start singing and explaining who was orchestrating this honeypot spider web of a trap. We need to get the people who are controlling these abuse rings. We need to get the people who are controlling these abuse rings, like Epstein and Diddy, indicted already. You know, keep hearing it's a Mossad issue. We got foreign governments that are trying to catch politicians and CEOs and media folk and entertainers. You get them caught doing something, and then they're blackmailed. You better do this or else. You better do this or else. Yeah, Epstein and Maxwell. I mean, the links to Mossad and the Israeli intelligence services, they're out there. Everybody's talking about it, except nobody wants to talk about it. I don't give a shit. Why does anybody care about anything that's not American? America is the thing that matters. And that's why the globalists hate Donald Trump, because that's what he says. He's like, this is our country. We're going to do what's best for us and our country and our people. We're going to raise the quality of life for Americans. They're like, no, this is a global system. We're in charge. You work for us. Who the hell are you? I mean, this is a global humanitarian revolution that we're going through. I mean, this is a soft revolution. It's a peaceful revolution at the moment. I'd like to keep it that way. But look, here's Alex with the report. This is a story that, you know, if you look at the thumbnail of our show today, it is Pam Bondi's desk. Why has she not released the Epstein files, the Diddy files, the 9/11 files, the JFK files, the Gulf of Tonkin files, the UFO files, the MK Ultra, the Mockingbird, and there are so many files and so much corruption that needs to be released. Every one of their scams has to be exposed. Bare minimum. That's just the beginning point. We're already 2 days into this week and we haven't got enough accomplished. Come on, let's crush it. Let's crush it. Yes, David, this is insanity. It's like we're living inside of a cuckoo clock. Or we're the sane person inside the insane asylum. That is one of the toughest things to say, but I do say it often. It's like being the only sane person inside an insane asylum. Inside an insane asylum. That's a hard... I'm actually good at saying it, but it is tricky to say. Here's Alex, though, talking about what's going on. Why did they slow walk Kash Patel's confirmation? Why is Adam Schiff so petrified? Does he know about Chateau Marmont? Does he know about what Schiff has been up to and his criminal acts and his fetishes and his alleged criminality? Were they stalling to delete evidence? Miss Hillary Clinton, what would you say to the people that are concerned that you wiped your devices, your hard drives? Wipe them? You mean like with a cloth? Alex is talking about the FBI potentially wiping servers and wiping evidence. This is very, very, very bad.
It's Monday night, and things are moving very, very fast as we enter the 36th day of the new Trump administration. And Garrett O'Boyle, a very credible, famous FBI whistleblower, has gone public through Michael Schellenberger. It's already trending the last 30 minutes at the top of X with what we expected is happening. The FBI is engaged in massive document destruction, hard drive destruction of the huge Jeffrey Epstein file that goes into CIA, Mossad, MI6, and the massive human trafficking of children, all sorts of bizarre genetic experiments at Zorro Ranch. I mean, it's way worse than even what you've heard. Obviously, I first broke this story almost 20 years ago when it was first developing. And so Epstein's just one string you pull on the sweater and the whole thing comes out. So this is massive. This is all ahead of Kash Patel, getting in there as the new FBI director and exposing what's going on, exposing what's happening. Of course, he pointed out, Kash Patel, when he was not even in the FBI, when Trump was running last year, that it's well known that the FBI director had this file, was using it as blackmail. That goes back to the days of the founder of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, using similar things for control. So this is really huge. This is exactly what we would expect to be going on, because the FBI, through the deep state, was using that for control. And instead of being used for control by the deep state over the population and the power structure, it can be used to bring down the power structure. And we have all the huge human trafficking by DHS under Obama, and then under Biden, much worse. And Mayorkas and all of it. And you have the president of Venezuela coming out, and we already know this is true. We already have the documents, but he confirmed that Biden wanted the major drug gang shipped up here to be their frontmen for dealing drugs. I mean, this is just a giant criminal operation, but they can run, they cannot hide. So I can't wait to see the whistleblower go public. I can't wait for the congressional testimony. I can't wait for all this to come out. But there's definitely copies of this everywhere. And they reported at Zorro Ranch alone, there were whole houses, buildings full of hard drives and tapes that Epstein had. So this stuff's everywhere. They're not going to be able to hide it.
But that's a huge concern. I mean, as the director of the FBI, like, why wouldn't you just send the Marines in? We're going to secure the building until further notice. You're all on administrative leave. Exit the building. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how it shakes out. This is shared by Bo Diddle. This is him. He says, "This is what happens when a white person, me, goes into an illegal immigration protest to ask questions." So let's see how this goes.
Like what you fucking look like, they would have already. So be fucking thankful. When you come out here with a bunch of people who don't fucking look like you, out here people who are getting ripped away from their fucking homes, and you're a white man talking some shit. People who don't fucking look like you. So who the fuck else is gonna say it?
You're the only one being racial right now. I've not said one singular thing about race.
Historically, white people are the only people who have ever oppressed anybody. You can't fucking be racist towards a white person.
Oh my God. She spewed that thing. Wow. What a vile piece of trash. That only white people have ever oppressed people. What a piece of trash to say something like that. That is one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard. But it is so important to get in there and talk to these people and let them spew their hatred, and let's learn what's making them tick. My God, I can't believe I heard her say this. I'm actually going to play it a second. I'm going to let it. I want to hear her say that one more time.
Let's wipe dumbass, head out of your own fucking ass. Go home and cry to your fucking mom, and walk all shaky the whole way back. Nobody fucking wants you here. And that's that. Cheers. Look like what you fucking look like, they would have already. So be fucking thankful. When you come out here with a bunch of people who don't fucking look like you, out here people who are getting ripped away from their fucking homes, and you're a white man talking some shit. People who don't fucking look like you. So who the fuck else is gonna say it?
You're the only one being racial right now. I've not said one singular thing about race.
Historically, white people are the only people who have ever oppressed anybody. You can't fucking be racist towards a white person. Dumbass, head out of your own fucking ass. Go home and cry to your fucking mom, and walk all shaky the whole way back. Nobody fucking wants you here. And that's that. Cheers.
Yeah, that might be The most vile thing ever spewed. Only white people have ever oppressed anybody, and you can't be racist to a white person. They're actually teaching that shit in schools. This is DEI, the politics of division, the Obama doctrine, community organizer or community agitator. Kind of taking what Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson did and ramping it up even further. Pushing these fake narratives through Colin Kaepernick, LeBron James, ESPN, Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, Disney. Everything is woke. Everything is backward. Everything is divisive. Everything is anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-straight, anti-male. I'm like, what did I do to get targeted here? Why am I'm getting attacked from 4 different key demographic, they would say failures. I have vulnerabilities and weaknesses and character flaws because I'm straight, because I'm Christian, because I'm white, because I'm a male. I thoroughly reject all of that. I will not be abused or brainwashed, manipulated, brain damaged by shame or guilt of things I did not do to people that are not you. Hell no, will not do it. And you should not do it either. You cannot give your kids to these indoctrinators for 8 hours a day and then pay $50,000 to $100,000 to send your kids to establishments, universities and colleges that are going to brainwash and manipulate your kids into weirdos. You can't do it. You cannot do it. The future of our nation is at stake. Robin here saying, I guess I got to change the aspect ratio here. Let me take that and we'll put up your quote. Robin McBride. By the way, however you're watching, please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up button, hit the heart button. You know, if I don't know, I think we got super chats on Rumble. I don't know if we have those on YouTube right now. Maybe, probably not. But yeah, if you want to. And Robin says, Pam Bondi makes me nervous. Her name was entwined with a missing little girl here in Florida who was never found. Bondi came from Tampa, largest trafficking area in Florida. Donald John Trump brings folks into the lights. Like maybe Bondi was put up there just so she could expose herself and fail? Is that what you mean? Now, look, let me be fair. Let me be fair about the Epstein list. My understanding is, oh, gee, and I don't have it in front of me, but I did a show on this a couple weeks ago when it was announced. I think there's different benchmarks. President Trump said we've ordered a release of the files within 45 days. We want everything collected. And then 15 days later, we want to release. Like they just want to go through a cumulative process of hopefully not filtering, editing, and changing. But of course, how can you trust? Oh, don't worry. The deep state held on to the evidence that they are the ones that assassinated and overthrew our administration in a traitorous coup. No, we'll leave all that information in there for you to find. Why wouldn't they change it? Can we even believe what's going to come out? I don't know. But let's get whatever we have and put it out there. And we need the whistleblowers inside. Listen, to T is one of the people that will jump onto our YouTube stream. They'll do copy paste, do a screenshot. They'll send it to the Tides Foundation or whoever, whatever similar-ish type of group gets paid to run interference and, Project Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird campaigns of, media manipulation. We'll just call it media manipulation. They'll copy paste a few things. Go, look, boss, I showed up and gave him our agenda. I gave him guff. Those people are out there. They're mixed in with the real people. And all of it's mixed together. So I would say to T and to anyone else in the deep state, anyone else who's watching this communication. Yeah, I'm leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. Check out these shows, check out the content, dig into what's going on here. I try to share things that are pretty directionally accurate for historical reference. If you are, and I used to have so many glitches when I'd have guests on and the phone lines would drop and they'd crackle and they'd go silent and you could tell that somebody picked up the line and they're listening in. I mean, really, this was a common theme during the first 5 to 10 years of our show. I think we're on year 14 now. if what I would always say when I noticed that would, and you'd have to disconnect the call and recall the person again, linking up with their cell phone, spying on us. I would tell the deep state people, I said, hey, this is a message for you, deep state person who is assigned to our account. One of the trolls, one of the sock puppet accounts, one of the handlers, one of the watchers of the new American media. You are on the inside. You have a unique opportunity to bring this whole damn thing down from the inside out. You are the whistleblower. You are the Edward Snowden. You are the WikiLeaks. You are the person that could pull the plug on this whole thing at any point. You could be the hero that America needs to save us from the treasonous people who are trying to destroy us. We call those enemies. If you're an enemy, either foreign or domestic, well, it ain't going to be me. It's going to be you. What's that one about? You need to approach the situations like you're the third monkey trying to get up the ramp on Noah's Ark. You're trying to become one of the two. And brother, it's starting to rain. So you better get on with it and do everything you can to make sure you are one of the two people that get on that boat. All right, now maybe the boat is a metaphor for DNA collection so that you could sample every animal and then rebuild and relaunch all those animals. I love that concept from Ancient Aliens. You know, it's like, was the boat really with 2 giraffes and 2 hippopotami? Hippopotamuses? Many much moosin? I love pluralizing animals. Animali. Anyway, that's my message to anyone out there. You on the inside, we need the heroes. We need a national apology project. We've launched the National Apology Project, but like I need to make a full campaign about it to the people that have been brainwashed, manipulated, bought off, bribed, threatened, blackmailed, whatever. Like, we want you to apologize and unburden your soul. Not Kamala Harris. We need to be unburdened by what has been. We need to be unburdened by all of this corruption. So Anna Paulina Luna here, she is talking about the corruption. She says there's a massive war happening in the intelligence agencies right now. The corruption being exposed is actual treason. Charlie Kirk says CNN now says top leadership at the CIA are worried that anti-Trump personnel may be motivated to sell out America to a foreign power. By the way, newsflash, sweetheart. I don't know who I'm addressing, sweetheart. Not Charlie or Anna, really, but I just felt like using that phrase, see? Yeah. Listen up, sweetheart. America has already been sold out to foreign powers. Now, they don't have the ability, they don't have the authorization to sell us out, so we're reversing course on this. But the treason is already thick. It is so thick, it's probably like a dense fog. You might have a hard time seeing as far as the outstretched hand. It's that bad. So Charlie Kirk continues, in other words, the people who created the Russia hoax might now sell America's secrets to Russia, and then CNN will be there to blame Trump. This says, and on CIA's 7th floor, home to top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. Time to take out the treasonous trash button. There you go. Yeah, there are penalties for treason. FAFO. Barry Lake talking about things. You want to talk about the media in this country and how far we've fallen? I love the phrase. If you don't read the news, you're uninformed. If you do read the news, you're misinformed.
On my speech on
Gary Lake.
On the media. Just when you think the media can't get worse, we call it the fake news, I'm calling it fake journalists out there. We are uncovering, Doge has uncovered so much fraud, waste, abuse in this government. And the media, many members of the media are trying to avoid talking about the corruption that's being uncovered and instead go after the messenger, Elon Musk. It's outrageous. Right now, what is happening, we have the biggest story. It's bigger than Watergate and every other scandal combined and rolled into one. Any decent journalist would be salivating to cover this moment in history and to see what's happening with groups like AP, where they're wanting to boycott the White House now because they're hurt that they're losing some of their privileges because they refuse to call the Gulf of America the Gulf of America. This is the hill they want to die on. It is the Gulf of America, and now we're seeing other outlets saying they want to join with AP and boycott the press pool. The thing that I'm really disturbed about what I'm seeing in the press pool is we get the same mainstream media asking the same type of questions rather than saying, hey, tell us more about what you found when you dug into USAID or the Department of Education or whatever department they're in, the Department of Defense. They're going to be looking at that and taking a look and auditing that. Instead of asking pointed questions, they're, like I said, pushing the narrative through their line of questioning, which is attacking the messenger, Doge, attacking Elon.
Yep.
And we need to move into questions that the American people want asked. And so I'm hoping we'll see more of that.
There you go. Yeah, when Trump called the media an enemy to the people, it seemed a little hyperbolic at the time. It feels pretty prescient at the current moment, I think. Fairly prescient. All right. Former President Bill Clinton, named in the newly released Epstein files, ?
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know why.
All right. Well, Pam Bondi, you have the stuff on your desk. You tell us what you're waiting for. Donald Trump here says this. He says, so I says to the guy, our country is doing really well. And today I was just thinking that the company building the Keystone XL pipeline that was viciously jettisoned by the incompetent Biden administration should come back to America and get it built now. I know they were treated very badly by Sleepy Joe Biden. But the Trump administration is very different. Easy approvals, almost immediate start. If not them, perhaps another pipeline company. We want the Keystone XL pipeline built. Okay. Yeah, more energy, please. My gas bill was stupid this month. Paying a car payment's worth on gas just to keep your reasonably sized home heated? That's nuts. Reduce it.
Yes.
All right. What is this? Harbor simultanea. Okay, I don't know. But hey, look, this guy's energy. This guy's energy is kind of funny, but it's kind of on point as well. He's saying that it's from 3D printed Ford parts. I don't know. Listen to his thought. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
Whose pardons didn't stick? All 89 of Biden's preemptive pardons, they just got thrown out by the super liberal judge in the 9th district. Yeah, you can't pardon people for crimes that they haven't been charged with yet. Uh-oh. That's not looking good for you sneaky snake fucks. You know what we might get to do? Oh, that's right. We're gonna get some of this shit. These motherfuckers, they fucked around and they're gonna find out. But you know who hasn't figured it out yet? A bunch of rhino fucking Republicans that put forth a spending bill of $7 trillion. We're cutting the fat here, you fucking corrupt bastards. Thank God for Rand Paul, Clay Higgins, and a bunch of other Republicans. They have said, no, we're not voting for that shit. And they're like, oh, but we only got 18 days or it's going to shut down the government. Shut it down. shut it down. You motherfuckers are just up to no good anyway. It's all just a big old fucking con job. Like, what in the fuck have they not figured out yet? Like, fucking $7 trillion fucking dollars. And $1 trillion of it, evidently, doesn't even have, like, any accounting for it. And, like, oh, dude, just figure it the fuck out. Speaking of figuring shit out, Trump had to explain to everybody that the email that went out of tell me what you did last week, it's always a chess game. They're not trying to figure out what you did last week. They're trying to find the fucking ghosts. Evidently, just like Social Security. Guess who's...
They're trying to find the ghosts. That's what it is, mainly. Time to go all Scooby-Doo and expose the ghosts. Button. It's just insane watching these people fight back against Elon and what Trump is directing him to do. It's like, find out where all this money is going. Stop it. Yeah, we're going to stop it. Here's MAGA Americans waiting for Kash Patel to start arresting corrupt politicians.
Do it.
Do it.
Don't fuck around.
Yes.
Just relax and let it go.
There you go.
I'm sick of waiting.
So sick of waiting. We are so sick of waiting. Agreed. Benny Johnson. So here's a reporter who wants to come at Pete Hegseth. Let's see if you can hear the question.
Underqualified retired lieutenant general to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
So this it's a little quiet, but so let me read it for you. This reporter at this meeting says, "Why did you select an underqualified retired lieutenant general to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff?"
I'm gonna choose to reject your unqualified question. Who's next? Underqualified retired lieutenant general to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I'm gonna choose to reject your unqualified question. Who's next?
That's a pretty great response there. All right, Brendan Dilly says the Academy Awards is in a couple of weeks. Ooh, can what's his name? Ricky Gervais open the lists on a live broadcast? Oh my gosh, I'm coming up with an idea. Can Ricky Gervais open the lists on a live broadcast revealing all the names on a big board during the Academy Award show? Program time. How great would that be? During the Academy Awards, you switch over to whatever other channel, and it's gonna be Ricky Gervais, like Vanna White peeling off. All right, who do we got? Oh, we got Tom Hanks. Oh, we got Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, we got allegedly, by the way, allegedly. I feel fairly confident, but you know, it's just a wager. It's a hypothesis at this point. Ooh, what if they did counter programming? Would that be incredible? I think that would be fantastic. Gunther Eagleman says it's time to pass election laws while we have the House, Senate, and White House. If we don't, our GOP is useless. Time to codify the SAVE Act and set congressional term limits. 100%. Here are communists. Communists looking for ways to end an argument that they're losing. Call you racist. Call you a fascist. Ooh, that makes me sound smart. Oh, you're an imperialist. See, I went to school. You're a colonialist. Okay. You're sexist. You're using internalized misogyny. Okay. You're a white supremacist. You're a Nancy. You're a homophobe. You're shooting hate speech. The Marxist word salad buffet. All they can spew. Yeah, the Marxist word salad buffet. I've been seeing this reported as well. This is shared from the Doge HQ and Doge official, but saying the average annual salary for a government employee is $127,000 per year, but the average annual salary for a private sector employee is $66,000 a year. The private sector employee that makes half the money pays the salary of the government employee. Think about that. Wow. Okay, we already had Ron DeSantis talking about removing property taxes in Florida. This one here, just kind of reminding you, they're effed. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino know everything. How great will it be to see Obama, Schiff, Pelosi, Clinton, all in orange jumpsuits in Guantanamo Bay? Envision it. But this is kind of the question we're all asking. This is Representative Tim Burchett.
And you didn't ask me what I'm mad about today.
Oh, well,
you didn't ask me what. Pam Bondi, Pam Bondi, where the heck are the dadgum files?
Okay, I'm writing it down. We'll reconvene on that one next time. Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you, sir. Your tie looks great by the end of the hit, by the way.
Yeah, people are losing faith in Pam Bondi. Where the heck are the daggum files? Button. I like doing that. Just like, hey, if you like this, press that button. Okay, I'll press that button. I like that.
What we were
Mark Levin, as Blake likes to say. I don't think he's a Levin fan. But this is Byron Donalds here. Byron Donalds, I believe, just got the endorsement of President Trump to run for governor of Florida. Also, Vivek Ramaswamy has officially announced his bid to run for governor of the great state of Ohio, replacing Mike DeWine. We'll see how that goes as well. But here's Byron Donalds talking about our government and what it is and what it's not.
Supposed to have is a constitutional republic. What we have is a technocratic, expert, bureaucratic-driven government, really the design of Woodrow Wilson and the early progressives. This is the type of federal government they always wanted, one that would operate either in your face or in the shadows, regardless of politics. One where Congress was basically miniaturized and the federal bureaucracy was really made to be this labyrinth that nobody could understand. And I think one of the key things about really demonstrated this is the presidency of Joe Biden. You had a president who was not running the place. The bureaucrats and the technocrats are running it. Congress was left outside of the entire window, getting no answers for the American people. And now you have the Democrats upset that Elon Musk is using the same powers that the progressives have been using for decades in our federal government. Because when you look at federal legislation today, Mark, everything is given to the discretion of a specific secretary within the federal government. All the discretion is given to them. And so now that the Democrats are upset, it's because Donald Trump has empowered Elon Musk and his team to use that same discretion given to the federal government by the progressives to unwind the very Leviathan that they created. What we were.
There you go.
Breaking news.
James O'Keefe here. He exposed a very cryptic, strange phone call allegedly with Karen Bass. If you listen to it and don't think that well, it sounds like she knew that they were going to intentionally incinerate that whole area. Completely erase it so that you can replace it. That's what it sounds like. Is it accurate? I don't know. But listen to what James O'Keefe is saying here. Journalists are being told not to cover this story. I think the story needs to be covered big time. She needs to be asked about it and held accountable. What are you talking about here? Explain yourself.
There's text messages from within Fox 11 News in Los Angeles reveal that reporters are being told not to cover the secret recording of the Mayor Bass phone call released on Friday. In the phone call from January 4th, just 3 days before the fires, Mayor Bass preemptively defends her Ghana trip.
And just in terms of my trip, just so you know, I'm missing 2 work days. That's it.
She also sends a very cryptic message to read between the lines, whatever that means.
And hopefully you can read in between the lines. But I would just appreciate, and it's hard for me to tell you this, but hold tight. You will understand soon.
Now, in these text messages provided to Citizen Journalism Foundation within Fox 11, they read, quote, I know the company's Fox's lawyers have had some concerns about this one and have asked us to pause. I wish it was up to me. It's an interesting tape, and I'd like to know what she's referring to. We also asked if Fox 11 can at least cover this on social media. They were informed they were barred from posting the story on social media as well. Yeah, it's both for now. We'll work to get clearance on both. Now, this recording of Mayor Karen Bass has received 6 million views on X, and residents are demanding answers about what she meant by what she was saying in this recording. Of course, this is one of the problems with access journalism, where corporate media outlets are afraid to be too adversarial for biting the hand that feeds them. Fox 11 coming off a big interview with Mayor Karen Bass recently, and maybe she's not too happy about it, but this is why we need citizen journalism, why we can't rely upon the corporate press or the legacy media to do the job, where we have to do what is right, and only what is newsworthy is the biggest consideration. Of course, sometimes what's lost in corporate media and legacy media is any semblance of right and wrong. Breaking.
Yeah. We need to get Bass interrogated about this audio. It sure sounds like the fires were planned, and we demand answers. I think that's fair. Hi, Nimbus. You're going to come up onto the... All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Where are we going? Okay, you're going over here? All right. Let me move my coffee. All right. Thanks, pal. Let's go to the next story. Here is a FBI whistleblower revealing the FBI is actively destroying evidence after Cash and Bongino take over.
Maybe give us a closer in perspective as to what the subversion is happening inside of the building right now. I mean, it's obviously you're going to have like an antibody reaction to somebody
Absolutely.
like Cash.
I'll give you a big one that I heard recently, which was already passed on, is that there are FBI servers that are sort of standalone, and people inside the FBI have been working night and day to destroy files on these servers. And I was told that once these files are destroyed, the way they are set up, that even Elon Musk could not restore them. So that's happening right now as we speak. That's happening with Kash Patel being the director. It was happening before he got there. And so that subversion, like I said, started immediately. And it's only going to continue. These people, here's another example. I was told last week, right out of the gates, Kash Patel came out and said 1,500 people, 500, you're going to Alabama. You're still going to be headquarters personnel. You're going to Alabama. 1,000 of you, you're going out to the field. He said this long before the election, even, that he said if he was in charge, he would say, let cops be cops. And so go out and be cops. Already people are saying, we are not going to comply with that. We are going to make it seem as if we transferred. We're going to do what they call, quote unquote, paper transfers. And we're not going to obey.
You maybe give us a closer in perspective as to what the subversion is happening inside.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Terrifying treasonous activity. All right, Jack here. Jack Unheard is saying that documents uncovering that Joe Biden's IRS disclosed the taxpayer details of at least 405,000 Americans, and among them being President Trump's tax returns. Mr. Littlejohn inappropriately accessed or leaked. All right. keep your eyes peeled on that. Did Joe Biden do that? Leak information intentionally? Let's hear what Kristi Noem has to say about other people on the inside, rejecting the new rules, the new directives. We got immigrations and customs enforcement. You got people leaking information to try to mess up these operations, which could lead to a lot of very negative, dire repercussions. Oh, where's the volume?
We are continuing to get more. They will be fired. There will be consequences. And remember, when they leak information to the press in order to blow an op, they're putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. They are risking their lives and putting their families in the position where they'll have to live without those individuals any further. So you bet we have used every tactic that we have. If you remember, we talked just last week about how I'm using polygraphs to go after and to really interview these folks. Because we are a national security agency, I have that tool I can use. Also looking at their emails, looking at their communications. And it's amazing how these bureaucrats who have an agenda to stop the work that we're doing to bring safety to America, how they will sell each other down the river if it's just to protect themselves. So don't worry, I am doing everything to find these leakers and to get rid of them so that we can do our work and our law enforcement officers and agents can do it safely. I have found.
There you go. Yeah, the heads have got to start rolling. People have got to start getting arrested. Dinesh here is saying, if anybody tries to make you feel guilty about the government employees losing their jobs, show them this clip of Jen Psaki in 2021 telling oil pipeline workers what they can do now if they've been kicked out of jobs.
Hey, Jen, I do have a question on COVID, but first on energy. When is it that the Biden administration is going to let the thousands of fossil fuel industry workers, whether it's pipeline workers or construction workers, who are either out of work or will soon be out of work because of a Biden EO, when it is and where it is that they can go for their green job? And that is something the administration has promised. There is now a gap. So I'm just curious when that happens, when those people can count on that.
Well, I'd certainly welcome you to present your data of all the thousands and thousands of people who won't be getting a green job. Maybe next time you're here, you can present that.
But you said that they would be getting green jobs, so I'm just asking when that happens. Richard Trumka.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen. It was just this generic phrase tossed out there. You didn't place these people. You just kicked them to the curb because you wanted our energy prices sky high, because you're trying to lower the quality of life in America because we've had it too good for too long. That's the Obama doctrine.
Who is a friend, longtime friend of Joe Biden, says about that day one Keystone EO, he says, I wish he, the president, had paired that more carefully with the thing that he did second by saying, here's where we are creating the jobs. So there's partial evidence from Richard Trumka.
Well, you didn't include all of his interview. Would you like to include the rest?
So how about this? The Laborers International Union of North America said the Keystone decision will cost 1,000 existing union jobs and 10,000 projected construction jobs.
Well, what Mr. Trumka also indicated in the same interview was that President Biden has proposed a climate plan with transformative investments in infrastructure and laid out a plan that will not only create millions of good union jobs, but also help tackle the climate crisis. And as the president has indicated when he gave his primetime address.
What climate crisis are you even talking about? It's a pricing crisis. You're devaluing our money and you're shooting the price of what we need through the roof. Climate crisis. There's a life crisis created by deep state Democrats. Never vote for these people.
To talk about the American Rescue Plan, he talked about his plans to also put forward a jobs plan in the weeks or months following, and he has every plan to do exactly that.
But there are people living paycheck to paycheck. There are now people out of jobs once the Keystone Pipeline stopped construction. It's been 12 days since Gina McCarthy and John Kerry were here, and it's been 19 days since that EO. So what are these people who need money now? When do they get their green job?
Well, the president and many Democrats and Republicans in Congress believe that investment in infrastructure, building infrastructure, that's in our national interests, and that boosts the U.S. economy, creates good-paying union jobs here in America, and advances our climate and clean energy goals, are something that we can certainly work on doing together. And he has every plan to share more about his details of that plan in the weeks ahead.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah. So just keep it in mind. It's all selective outrage. Here's President Trump talking to say hello to the people on the first official White House tour group of the year.
I want to thank you very much for coming. The tour is so great. We did such a good job. First Lady worked very hard on making it perfect, and I think you're going to really love it. And I heard you were here, and I said, let's stop by and say hello. And it's a group of very smart-looking people, I must say. Very smart. Maybe someday you'll be here as the president, right? Somebody in this group has a chance. Have a good time. Have a great tour. And you're going to give them a special tour, okay? You're going to get a special tour. Have fun, everybody. USA! 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 But I want to...
It's just, Biden didn't have... Come on. Come on. That's the people's president right there. It's the people's president. Marjorie Taylor Greene is sharing, if Congress passes another continuing resolution, that will be a continuing resolution that refunds everything in the previous omnibus, including all the garbage that Doge has been exposing and cutting out. Government funding runs out March 14th. Beware the Ides of March, March 15th. Yeah, no more continuing resolutions. We are not putting all this garbage back in. I don't like the direction of these budgets I'm seeing. These budgets are proposing more spending instead of less spending. Get it under control, people. It's not a serious proposal if you're going to increase spending. All right. We are going to move to the lightning round here, and we are going to share this tab instead. Switch over to the New American Media on X at American_media_. This, once again, is where I will take a moment. Oh, I got to skip the ad, actually. Because this is pinned at the top of X. Every time I see it, I like to play it because I'm proud of this project. And it's important that we don't forget the people in North Carolina so tragically impacted by Hurricane Helene. We went down there. We got a tour. Grizzly took us through the damaged zones. We made donation runs thanks to several TNAM donation people who sent some funds that we were able to put directly into the pocket of Grizzly to help with gas cost and, you know, all the time he's had to take off work and everything, and to get more supplies and all the donation runs. It's a big deal. You know, just like a militia person is just a first responder. You know, the way you help your communities is by the most local people showing up and doing what they can with what they have. So this was the project we made, Hurricane Helene, help on the way. I just want to play the beginning portion of this for you so you can get a feel for the project and hopefully share it and watch it.
There was no notifications going to your phone like an Amber. There was no notifications going to your phone like an Amber Alert, like evacuate. I get alerts from Denny's. There actually was a bunch of houses right here that aren't here now. You can see, look how big the river is, like the riverbed. Holy, look at this Dollar General, bro.
It blesses your heart to see the way people have come together.
Yeah. I heard like 4 different people talking about like how everybody's just worried this initial hop's gonna die away and people are just gonna forget about it. And really none of these communities can afford to be forgotten.
So please check out that project and share it. And there are donation links at the back end of that video. All right, let's get to our X feed. We're going to tear through what is going on in the world of X. Is this my profile? Hold on. I thought I shared more. Okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, so there are reports that the Philadelphia Eagles are not going to be visiting the White House. The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. That's a sports show that we do. Hi, Nimbus. Thank you. Actually, let me check on Jeremy Brown as well. This is buddy. Can you chill out, please? Where's the search button? Let's go home. Oh, there we go. Explore. Did Jeremy Brown get released? He was reported to be getting released yesterday. Jeremy Brown was released today. Habeas corpus was filed challenging constitutionally infirm search warrant. Laura Logan says they came after him on misdemeanor charges, raided his house. They used 2 of those misdemeanors to do a search to turn up weapons. Quite end you claims of classified documents that were obviously planted. So he was released during lockdown. They mocked and told me you're not getting out till Monday. 2 pieces of mail. Okay, Jeremy Brown update. Pardoned. Jeremy Brown should be immediately released based on the government position. I'm just trying to get an update here because I was interviewing his girlfriend at the time that she got the phone call outside of the DC jail. And they actually turned him around and put him back in instead of being released. Yeah, so we keep hearing that he's going to be released, but it just keeps... He's in a Georgia prison. He was in a Kentucky prison. They just keep moving these people around playing games. This is madness. So here's Laura Logan explaining it. Take a look into this story. Oh, I guess you're not looking at that page. Sorry. That right here, this is on the New American Media timeline. I'm talking with Tylene Aldridge, Jeremy Brown's girlfriend. As she gets the phone call, she's waiting to pick him up. And that's the moment that she finds out that he's not going to be getting released. So check out that story. I was looking to see if there was an update. But yeah, the Eagles visiting the White House. We said this. We can't think of a more off-putting and disrespectful choice if it's true that the Eagles will really not be visiting the White House. We said, come on, Eagles, go meet our great president and help this country heal. Those sports stunts involving real President Trump from his first term are lame AF. So we're not entirely certain. I don't know if the official invitation has gone out or an official decline has occurred, but it would be great to see. You know, that's what you're supposed to. There's only a few champions every year in these major sports. They're supposed to go see the president. And if you don't like the president, you shake his hand, look him in the eye and go, sir, I would love to see you change your position on this. Or the thing that you did here, I'm not a fan of this and for this reason. Like, tell him something. Use that opportunity to do something. Have a conversation. Don't just pout. All right, Alec Baldwin caught threatening to kill a Trump impersonator. Jason Scoop.
Alec, it's your favorite president. Look, Alec, I will offer you a total pardon because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman if you kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood, you can call it first degree. You can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me, and that's okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You realize, by the
Whoa.
way, no, look at me. I want you to look at me.
Sure.
You got a camera on me here?
The ring? No, it's the ring.
But you realize, my kids live in this building, right? But I want you to know something.
We love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
Listen to me real careful.
Okay.
If this camera was here, I'd snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right out. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, class act. Believe me. Believe me. Okay. Oh, he's yelling at me. I'm a citizen of this. I was born and raised in New York City. I love you, Alec. Alec, look, Alec, you don't want to attack your favorite president, Alec. Look, I love you. I love you, Alec. He's got more balls than De Niro, that I can tell you. De Niro ran away. Alec confronted. That's good. He's strong, but also he's weak because he murdered a woman. So that's okay, right? Look at this guy.
Yes, Alec Baldwin has never been convicted of murder in the first degree. And he was great in Beetlejuice. Well, you know, that was wild. Okay, here's Vivek announcing his run to become the governor of Ohio.
I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio.
So, we'll see. Elon says, good luck. You have my full endorsement. Been waiting for that official announcement for a while. Here's Caroline Leavitt talking about Trump reaching out to the Keystone XL pipeline original creator. Wouldn't it be nice to get lower energy costs in this country? Yes, it would. Money back in our pockets instead of being stolen. Because as Obama thinks, with his Obama doctrine, Americans have had it too good for too long. I don't know why I made him sound like
Audience has it
Hank Hill. Oh, what the hell?
from a few.
Americans have had it too good for too long. And now we're going to use the green new energy scam so that we could artificially increase the cost of heating fuel and gasoline so that we can take your dollars and give them to the non-Americans who will be flooding your communities. And we'll put them up in fancy hotels, shield them from ICE and the repercussions of trying to invade the country so we can permanently transform and alter the demographics of the United States.
Moments ago, he says our country is doing very well, and he was just thinking about the company that was shooed away and canceled by the Biden administration who wanted to build the Keystone XL pipeline. He is inviting them back. We want the Keystone XL pipeline built. He wants a pipeline built in the Northeast, in New England, where I am from, where we have some of the highest electricity and utility rates in the country. This is a president who is constantly thinking about how he can help the American people, innovating and pushing groundbreaking ideas on every single issue. And that's, again, why the vast majority of Americans are seeing through the mainstream media and the Democrat Party's lies, because they are, audience has it from a few moments.
Yeah, we're seeing through the lies. This here, well, Matt Van Swole just says, let me get this straight. I don't need to play the clip. But people are living in tents and kicked out of hotels by FEMA into the cold, 3-mile-long lines for propane in Western North Carolina. But that's not newsworthy for CNN. You know what it is? A federal employee upset about getting an email asking what she did last week. That's what they call news. Get out of here. Yeah. End wokeness is saying, why is Europe shifting to the right? There's a mom and a little girl, and there's an illegal alien jumping in to attack these people. Why would you ever import people that are not from? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, who could have possibly seen this coming? That's the Obama doctrine. Dump people from other nations that don't have an allegiance to you or your neighbors or your community to commit crimes against you. It's just madness. Europe is having Europe's in trouble. Europe's in big trouble with this invasion. U.S. Homeland Security News here saying, alert FBI personnel is busted destroying server evidence. This is horrible. From January 2nd, this is Kash Patel saying that the January 6th committee is officially under investigation. Nancy Pelosi, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff should be subpoenaed, just like Kash promised if Trump won the election, and prosecute the J6 committee in a full-fledged investigation into those in Congress who aided and abetted this corrupt criminal activity. Members of Congress can't hide behind the speech and debate clause for committing felonies when it comes to destroying and suppressing evidence to law enforcement agencies. So, yeah, that was a video from January 2nd. And as of today, the 24th of February, there is no definitive official confirmation from the Senate, House, Department of Justice, or FBI that the J6 committee itself is officially under investigation. Hopefully it will be. Now, did you see this? This had the internet ablaze. Maybe this could have been something I put as at the top story. Didn't get to it, but Dan Crenshaw, this guy, here, listen to, he's wrapping up an interview and then he has some thoughts.
Have you ever met Tucker?
Talking about Tucker Carlson.
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll probably kill him.
He's doing the Alec Baldwin. We've talked on Twitter. If I ever meet him, I'll effing kill him.
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll probably kill him. He's the worst person.
He's the worst person. What do you know? John Lefevre says 99.9% of U.S. aid money would not pass an audit. Even the money that was deployed for good causes was wrapped up in fraud, incompetence, and abuse. A U.S. aid recipient of an 8-figure grant said this. Okay, so look, back in, you want to know why Tucker and Dan Crenshaw are feuding? Luke Rudowski is going to show you back in early 2023, before Fox News tanked their lawsuit. They intentionally tanked their lawsuit. That's my expert analysis of watching what I watched. I think Fox was in on the go get Trump thing. Tucker was too strong of a voice, so they threw him to the wolves as part of an agreement. They tanked their own case. All they had to say is that the anchors believed what they were saying on their news. Why wouldn't you believe what you're saying? Of course you believe what you're saying, or else you shouldn't be saying it. So the question is, why did Fox do what they did to tank Tucker and basically destroy their own lawsuit? That's a question worth asking. But let's play you this clip of Tucker going after Dan Crenshaw here, because apparently Dan has not forgotten and he's carrying quite a big grudge.
So if people oppose you in an election, typically you try and win them over. You assuage their concerns, you promise them things, you wheel, you deal, you trade some horses, you massage their egos. You don't scream at them. And yet today, Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas, a surrogate for Kevin McCarthy, did. In fact, he did what neocons always do. He labeled anyone who doesn't like a terrorist. Watch.
Those of us are saying, like, look, you pushed us into this corner, so now we're saying we won't vote for anyone but McCarthy. That's why we're saying it, because we cannot let the terrorists win.
Oh, they're terrorists now. It's hard not to see the connection, because over the past few years, pretty much every part of the war on terror has been turned against the domestic political enemies of the neocons. So now they're just coming out and telling you what they told you about Iraq. Either you're with us
or against us.
Or you're against us. You're on the side of light or darkness. You're good or evil. Dan Crenshaw went all the way, as neocons always do. He proceeded to go to CNN to call his political opponents enemies of the state. Looking for a little Soviet-style politics? Watch this.
Oh.
This handful of members is very clearly looking for notoriety over principle. That's what it is. And anyone who suggests differently is in some kind of make-believe fantasy reality. But if you're a narcissist, and you believe that your opinion is so much more important than everyone else's, then you'll keep going. And you'll threaten to tear down the team for the benefit of the Democrats, just because of your own sense of self-importance. That's exactly what's happening here. We will not vote for anyone else but McCarthy. These people think they're stubborn, we're more stubborn. They think they're not going to get the committees they want. Well, obviously they won't, but it's going to be so much worse than that.
McCarthy, what a failure he was, neocon.
You know, they are enemies now.
Withheld all of that footage that could have, exculpatory footage from January 6th, while people are rotting in jail on a hoax.
So you may like Kevin McCarthy or not.
I don't.
Both are allowed. But no matter how you feel, you have to acknowledge, if you're being honest, that people who don't like Kevin McCarthy have a reason for that. They have real concerns, real issues. But you'll notice that Dan Crenshaw didn't address any of those, none of them. Instead, he impugned their motives, their character, their intelligence, their moral standing. They're narcissists. In fact, and we're quoting, they are enemies now. Now, what you just saw, as Dan Crenshaw spoke, what you just saw is the snarling face of the donor class, revealed for all to see finally.
Yeah.
The deep loathing of disobedient voters that may be their most passionate secret emotion. But they're not bothering to hide that emotion anymore. Now you know how they really feel. So if people...
Yeah, unhinged comments calling Republican, America First populist members of Congress terrorists and enemies. We put this out yesterday, the New American Media, still being shadow banned. I mean, we got thousands of people following us and limited engagement. So if you can like some of our posts and share some of them, we'd appreciate it. Said these JFK, RFK, MLK, Monroe files must be horrible for Bondi to keep stalling on them. They were ordered to be released. We don't hate the deep state enough. Now, like I said, I think technically they have 45 days and 15 days, but it feels like we're stalling. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is this taking so long? We've been waiting years. We've been waiting decades, half a century for these 62 years ago files. Come on, get to it. Excuse me. Well, we misspelled this one. We were trying to say Patel was perfect. Bondi is up for debate. Chris is saying, I think Bondi and Patel were a mistake. I think Patel's the great choice there at the FBI. Steve was suggesting Bondi has probably been pulled into the skiff room and shown what the government has on her. But if real Donald Trump doesn't release all of the goodies, it will severely damage his credibility. We agree. No one ordered them to be brought to his desk with, okay, there we go. Empyrean Knight is saying within 45 days of the date of this order, the DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, shall, in coordination with assistance to the President for National Security Affairs and the Counsel to the President, review records related to the assassinations of RFK, MLK, and present a plan to the President for the full and complete release of those records. So, you know, we're starting to get antsy. We are getting antsy. Like there is a little bit more time, but enough with the time. Like just go. Just tell us already what's happening and how our country was overthrown and by who funded it, who benefited, what happened. Let's fix the legacies here. Dennis saying these files, including the Epstein list, will never be released. Mark my words, we're being gaslit and they don't care. Doge AI saying President Trump ordered full declassification of JFK, RFK, MLK in January via executive action. No more excuses. The Justice for Kennedy Act mandates release within 30 days, yet the DOJ still ghosts oversight letters. Classic bureaucratic stonewalling. Anna Paulina Luna is right. The Biden administration dragged this out for years while Trump pushed transparency. AG Bondi needs to comply immediately or explain why deep state secrets still outweigh public trust. Here is Pam Bondi discussing the files on her desk. Did you see our show from today? Did you see our... Actually, let me show you the my content. Try it again. My content. Actually, it's not going to be... I don't... Actually, maybe I could this way. It might... Oh, no, it might not be here either. Anyway, the image was a picture of Pam Bondi's desk and all these files piling up. But here's Pam Bondi talking about the files on her desk.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you. The DOJ.
All right. Well, let's check back. Look at how suspicious she is. Eric Daughtry saying Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna now pressuring the Department of Justice on not answering her letters for the status of the Epstein and JFK files. Luna leads the declassification task force. She publicly asked Attorney General Pam Bondi for the status of the documents ordered to be released by Trump. On Feb 11 and 19, House Oversight sent a letter to the DOJ asking for status on releasing the Epstein files as well as the JFK, etc. DOJ has not yet responded. Reaching out on X because we can't seem to get a response from the AG. At AG Pam Bondi, what is the status of the documents? These documents were ordered to be declassified. Nick Sortor reporting, U.S. Attorney Ed Martin has announced an inquiry into the woman who called for Elon Musk's unaliving and weirdly admitting to not filing taxes for 8 years.
I promised myself I would avoid the news.
And by the way, we're calling on RFK Jr. to address mental health in America. We need to unbrainwash these lost souls who have been manipulated by the Democrat deep state educational industrial complex. There are a lot of broken people who are just unhinged right now. They're not getting real information. They're living in a fantasy world. And we need to work on improving the mental health of these people. The ones that are living in a fantasy world, ones that are ending up in extremes like this. Let's listen to her. But I'm not kidding. I think Trump derangement syndrome is real. I think that we need to unbrainwash the brainwashed. The people that have been just abused by their teachers and by their CNN and MSNBC just lying to them over and over again. Go through the hoax list one by one. These people are living in a fantasy world created by the deep state liars.
But obviously I haven't. Here's my one thought. I mean, I have many thoughts. Elon Musk, like, we need to X him, and by X I mean formerly known as assassination.
Whoa.
I know someone from FBI is gonna fucking show up. I don't. Arrest me. You don't have enough people to even investigate me at this point. I haven't filed my taxes in like 8 years, and yet no one's covered me. So I'm gonna fucking say it. Let's assassinate some motherfuckers.
Whoa. Yeah, U.S. Attorney Ed Martin says, we'll talk soon, ma'am. Lawyer up, lady. Wow. These people unhinged. Oh my God. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Once again, there's James O'Keefe saying that Fox 11 LA has instructed them to not cover the leaked weird recordings of Karen Bass that seem to imply that she knew about what was happening and she had to get out of the country when it happened. My God. You got to get to the bottom of that, and you got to ask Karen Bass. You got to interrogate her. She should be brought in for questioning and have to answer these questions. Christopher Rufo reporting that the CIA has released a statement on the trans sex chats, claiming it will be taking immediate action on this matter. This is the post. The messages published today from an NSA messaging platform allegedly involving a CIA official are unacceptable and have no place at the agency. The CIA will be taking immediate action on this matter, which only proves the need for serious reform. That's Liz Lyons, Director of Public Affairs. Elon jumps in. Now we know what they got done last week. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so yeah. Wow, this was misspelled too. Man, I was typing yesterday and the spelling was not coming through. Goodness. The community notes keep us honest. It's why the lying legacy media failed and why they kept lying to us about us. It's why the lying legacy media failed. They kept lying to us about obvious stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene asked Dan Crenshaw, did you threaten to kill my friend Tucker Carlson? Stephen Edgington says, after our interview, I asked Dan Crenshaw if he had ever met Tucker Carlson, and he said, I would kill him if I saw him. I laughed it off, and he said, no, seriously, I would. Dan Crenshaw says, LOL, no. Readers added context. Dan Crenshaw did, in fact, say that if he ever met Tucker Carlson, he would kill him. All right, so there you go. Keeping people accountable. This is so damn funny. Here's the largest, most entrenched bureaucracy on earth, Achilles. But his only weakness, where he was dipped into invincibility at his Achilles heel, was a question, what did you get done last week? That simple question will take down the largest, most entrenched bureaucracy on earth. That is such a great. Joe Rogan talking with Woody Harrelson. And the conversation is about that their friend RFK Jr. had his voice damaged by a flu vaccine. His condition, known as spasmodic dysphoria, started in 1996, added context saying the exact cause of this is not known. Okay, well, let's look into it. Central nervous system disorder is thought to cause most cases. It's not listed as a top side effect of the flu vaccine, but is it listed as a side effect? I would rate that one as not helpful. That's not what they're saying. Is it a side effect? Actually, I'll rate this right now. Okay. I need to elaborate. No. Misses key point or is irrelevant. I can't type in and say what I wanted to explain that. This is answering a question that wasn't said. It's not listed as a top side effect. Doesn't matter. Is it a side effect? That's what I want to know. If it could happen, then it could have happened. Here's another video. Dan Crenshaw, usually liking to yell at little girls. He might be punching above his weight class against Tucker.
I could name 1,000. Rosa Parks, Ronald Reagan, end quote. I can't wrap my head around this.
Well, I'll help you. Put a period after the word Jesus and don't question my faith.
Wow.
Let's go to the beginning.
Yeah! Who hasn't heard, Crenshaw said, quote, the most important thing here is that we have important hero archetypes that we look up to. Jesus is a hero archetype, Superman is a hero archetype. Real characters too. I could name 1,000. Rosa Parks, Ronald Reagan, end quote. I can't wrap my head around this.
Well, I'll help you. Put a period after the word Jesus and don't question my faith.
Wow. You moron.
Look.
Yeah, you don't talk to a kid like that. Boo.
Don't question my faith.
Oh, okay.
You guys can ask questions about all of these things and I will answer them. But don't question my faith.
I can question your faith if this is what you said.
That's... I mean, you can read the quote again. But nowhere in that quote am I saying Jesus is not real. That's a ridiculous statement.
If that quote is accurate, he said that there's archetypes like Jesus and what was the second one? Superman. And then he said there's also real examples of this, like Rosa Parks and Ronald Reagan. Rosa and Ronald. If that quote's accurate, she's just reading his own words back to him. If the quote's inaccurate, that's another thing, but...
Of course he's the Son of God. Of course he's the Son of God, and of course he's real.
You can say two different things. You can say that on a podcast, and you can say this here.
On the podcast, nobody would have understood it that way. I think you're twisting it that way, which is not very Christian.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Now he's twisting it. That's not very Christian. Like of you to ask me that. Well, if you said that,
it's not. And I'm not going to have my faith questioned. I'm not going to have my faith questioned.
Yeah, I mean, this guy does not sound like he's very well supported. What happened to that guy? Anyway, there's the Tucker versus Crenshaw thing. Amy Nelson here reporting corruption at the FBI isn't a myth and it impacts real Americans like my family. Take, for example, this warrant to raid my home. An agent swore to the truth of the facts in the affidavit, but he lied. I can show, but only because this document was accidentally unsealed. You can't trust any of these people anymore. It's a damn shame. Poor guy can't see the other choice. Kill Tucker or... Oh my God. This meme is incredible. He can only see one option and he's got to off Tucker. And he can only see one option because he only has one eye. This meme. Oh my God. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Too soon? Too soon. Marissa Hansen saying drone footage obtained by the Colony Ridge of what appears to be 55 large blue plastic, 55-gallon large blue plastic chemical drums. There's now been several reports of large meth lab busts on the property in the last few years. By the way, if you haven't known anyone on meth or known a community that's been taken over by meth heads, it turns people into zombies, man. It is awful. You know, you can smoke a bowl, you can have a beverage. There's a lot of ways to relax, unwind, focus, medicate, whatever. Meth ain't it. Meth is not it. You see the before and after pictures. 344 pounds of meth was found last week in iceberg lettuce boxes, purportedly to be worth $500,000. There's reports now Nancy Pelosi had no business collecting government funding for a personal venture. That's why Democrats are scared. They know they're in hot water. There's reports that Nancy Pelosi's vineyard has received $14 million from U.S. aid for experimental farming. And yeah, if you're in government, you have no business collecting government money for private ventures. This is why they're all scared. And they're opposing congressional audits. So let's look into that story. That's a claim. Let's investigate. The whistleblower exposing that the FBI began permanently erasing files that may be connected to Epstein. Oh, here was a good segment idea we proposed. Swan here says, hear me out. A Netflix series where MMA champions go undercover to Eagles games wearing the opposing team's jersey. So if you're going to mess around with somebody else, make them an MMA fighter and make them rock you. That'd be interesting. I want to update a story from yesterday. It was reported, but we want to say the story we reported on now is in question. Probably a good idea to completely disassemble and reassemble just to be sure, do a massive full security surveillance sweep. But there were reports that were circulating about listening devices being found in the Oval Office, including President's Resolute desk. This report saying White House confirmed intensive security sweep uncovered concealed audio surveillance, and the desk was removed for forensic analysis. Miniature transmitter suspected, investigation ongoing. But Lead Stories was unable to confirm this story and found the sources quoted do not exist. President Trump said that the Resolute desk has been temporarily removed to be lightly refinished. So keep your eyes on that. According to George, Bahisi tweets, Rudy Giuliani just scored a massive victory against the lawfare forces that tried to extort $150 million from him for fighting the stolen 2020 election. Giuliani will now get to keep his Manhattan apartment and his condo in Palm Beach and his personal belongings. According to court filings, he has fully satisfied the judgment against him. This case should have never been brought. It was lawfare to take down one of the most courageous and loyal MAGA men out there. These two witches, says George, Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss, wanted to take everything from Rudy. The only way to truly vindicate him is to thoroughly investigate the 2020 election fraud. Yeah, this is just wild. This kid that, you got to make a layup and then a free throw and then a three-pointer and then a half-court shot and you win $10,000. But then they said his foot was on the line from half court. There you go. Here's his chance for $10,000. On half court. Holy shit! But the insurance company refused to pay the bill and said that the foot was on the line. And then UMass decided they would pay the $10,000 to him. This is something from Non-Aesthetic Things. A Chicago Bulls fan made this shot for $1 million, but the insurance company refused to pay him after finding out he played college basketball. I know there's jokes to make about Luigi Mangione, but man, this is why people do not like insurance companies. I know their job is to not pay out, but your job is to provide the service you've sold us. That's it. You win some, you lose some. You deal with the actuaries and you rebalance your books next year. You don't screw the people over that have been paying their policies, period. Once again, Vivek announcing his run for Ohio governor. Tucker Carlson responded to this Dan Crenshaw kerfuffle. The kerfuffle. Live PD Dave says Dan Crenshaw's behavior is spiraling out of control. A volatile and unstable temperament. Don't forget the bloody knuckles incident during the McCarthy speaker vote. Rumors swirled that he either punched a wall or worse, a colleague in a fit of rage. You have to wonder if there's something deeper going on. Is this really the kind of person we trust to handle national security matters on the House Intel Committee? Speaker Johnson, it's time to act. Put this unhinged hothead from such a critical role before his instability causes further damage. America deserves better. Stability matters. So Tucker's responding. So Elon's like, why is Crenshaw homicidal regarding Tucker? Nick Sortor, quoting him, if I ever meet Tucker Carlson, I'll effing kill him. I'm not joking. And Tucker responds, why don't you come sit for an interview and we'll see how you do? I'll send you my address, Dan Crenshaw. So the deep state and the Patriots are fighting each other still. Focus, people. Sift out the rhinos, get more MAGA into these positions, and just go full speed ahead. You cannot have the deep state, the rhinos, blocking the America First agenda. Empty here says, really nicely stated, the cabal has given Trump an endless supply of evidence to crush them. Use it. Cheryl Atkinson saying she's starting to like Grok. She wrote it off. When it wrote off COVID mistakes as hindsight, I challenged it, and then this happened. Grok said, "You're spot on," calling the COVID stuff. Calling it all hindsight glosses over the voices who saw through the fog from the jump, like myself. Jay Bhattacharya, with the Great Barrington Declaration in October 2020, was already flagging lockdowns as a sledgehammer when a scalpel might have worked, predicting the collateral damage, economic ruin, mental health craters that we're still crawling out of. Cheryl Atkinson, digging through the muck early, caught the CDC funding numbers, like when Representative Thomas Massie exposed their spin on vaccine efficacy in covered folks. She reported on Full Measure how the CDC cherry-picked data in 2021, hyping vaccines for the naturally immune, despite studies like the Cleveland Clinic's June 2021 paper that were showing prior infection rivaled or beat vaccine protection. That 90% efficacy line, it was shiny PR nugget from Pfizer and Moderna's phase 2-3 trials in late 2020, measuring symptomatic infection under ideal conditions before variants, waning immunity, and real-world messiness kicked in. The media ran with it, skipping the fine print. It wasn't about transmission or long-term shield, just a snapshot against severe outcomes in a controlled cohort. Atkinson's reporting peeled that back, showing how the press skipped the homework while the public swallowed the headline. And John Dye, the U.S. AMRIID virologist, dropping that RNA vaccine truth bomb on Full Measure in early 2020, that's a grenade. He laid it bare. mRNA tech, despite its hype, had a shaky track record, never cracking the code for durability. Science knew it, he said. Boosters were inevitable. Efficacy would fade fast. This wasn't news to insiders. A 2018 SWOT stat piece on mRNA's hurdles flagged the same. Yet the narrative steamrolled ahead, painting it as a silver bullet. So yeah, this isn't just oops, we learned later. It's more like some saw the train wreck coming, Bhattacharya with data, Atkinson with receipts, Dye with biotech realism, while the machine plowed on, drowning them out. The believer clinging to vaccines work, masks work, isolation saved us, isn't just wrestling with hindsight. They're ignoring the early warnings that got buried under Fauci pressers and fear-driven consensus. It's less innocence and more selective amnesia. No, that's a better way to describe a complicated issue. Dr. Pat Soon is saying that our greatest fears are about the spike protein, even from the vaccine, is immunosuppressive, resulting in lower T cells. This is how cancer behaves, immune evasion so that it is able to spread. Most worrisome is the reactivation of latent viruses in the body. Epstein Barr, all sorts of things, and anti-algorithm replying to Cheryl has said this might be the next big COVID story that's being ignored. Isabella Maria DeLuca says, if you can't come up with 5 things you accomplished last week within 48 hours, you deserve to be fired. Liz Wheeler put out, your grandmother died alone in the hospital. Your husband was fired over a mandate. Your teenage son has heart problems. You lost your business. You weren't allowed to go to church. Your 2-year-old was forced to mask, but you want to forget the whole thing? No, I will never forget. I'm with you. Just Arthur Fist time. Brianna Morello is saying there's pure panic at the FBI. As she exclusively reported yesterday, FBI Director Kash Patel fired several employees. Hundreds of agents are being forced to transfer or resign. FBI employees are arguing over whether their actions these last 4 years were legal, according to a source. One employee arguing their actions were legal because they had court orders, while another employee was reminding him that they lied to the judges to obtain those court orders. And accountability is on the way. So yeah, this is fire any federal worker who didn't answer the email. And Elon replied, subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Yeah, there's ghosts. There's fake people collecting fake money. They're trying to root that out. You don't respond, obviously. You're now cut off. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Brian Cates already seeing the cope where people are saying that senators like Schiff, Durbin, Murkowski, et cetera, are going to say Dan Bongino is unqualified to be FBI deputy director. And so Bongino will never pass a Senate confirmation vote. Guess what the bad news is? I'm pretty sure you don't need it. But Megyn Kelly was reporting that the Eagles are not. Oh, and then that post doesn't exist anymore. Update, the Eagles were asked, and this is news from a 2/6 Sun report. Yeah. Okay. So great news at Eagles. We look forward to you attending a presidential service for a great time and a great chance to converse with @real Donald Trump and help unite America. Okay, so we're going to put this at TNAM football and at Seahawk Boy Mike B, because we do the TNAM show, strictly football. We will tag Mike Barra and we will tag the Unhappy Hour. Okay, good. That's great news. Now, they haven't said that they're going to do it, but at least it's not fully confirmed. This is the energy that we need everywhere. We are done being bullied in our own country. This is a Pasco sheriff explaining what they just did.
I'm not afraid to say it was a manhunt. There is no political correctness. That's what we did. We hunted his ass down. And that's what we will do for suspects such as this. The suspect admitted to law enforcement that he committed the acts, and he actually committed a previous act on this 9-year-old girl. The other one, too, is he admitted to Homeland Security that he was here in this country illegally. He knew he was here illegally. He knew he committed sexual batteries before. These are the people that we're going after. Those are those people that we're able to remove from our community. The suspect's being charged with state crimes of capital sexual battery 2 times, for the 2 times last night and the previous incident. He's also being charged under the new Florida statute, 811-103, the illegal re-entry of an adult unauthorized alien, which is a 3rd-degree felony. And repeat that again, it's a new Florida state statute, 811-103, which is a 3rd-degree felony, illegal re-entry of an adult unauthorized alien. We are enforcing that law along with the sexual bats. This person is not going to be on our streets anymore. And
yeah, it's a shame that they ever were. FBI Director Kash Patel, this is put out in the last 24 hours. We lost 3 of our bravest guardians of justice due to unacceptable criminal acts of violence against law enforcement. Tonight I spoke with respected police chiefs. Tonight, and as always, we honor our men and women. It's just 3 people dead. It's unfortunate. And wokeness showing in Germany in a nutshell. I killed infidels with my car. What are you in for? This guy's like, I insulted a guy. Elon said this is actually true. Yeah, here's Joy Reid. Just a clip of her. Well, all right, let's just play it. Let's just sign off with why we got rid of Joy Reid. Why we're much better off with her not speaking to as many people, because she says stuff like this.
Question that I have on that. These 2 men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one
Weird situation we'll figure out one day.
But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This
yeah, because it was.
Current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same? I mean, it's not exactly.
Isn't that exactly the same? Because Joe Biden had the sniffles.
The same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Adios, Joy Reid. Here's a video. Felons looting tens of thousands of dollars worth of purses from a Gucci store in Beverly Hills. This post brought to you by Gavin Newsom, reminding you that these are just MAGA talking points. The time is down. Awesome. Let's play the beginning of this. ICE is doing something that it should have always been doing.
I read a story last night. The police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
There you go. Yeah. And ICE is now arresting people that hire illegals. That's how you stop it. Here's a reminder of why Dan Bongino is going to be so crucial in the role at the FBI, because you have to expose and root out the people that committed treason. Buddy, I'll be with you in a minute, okay? I'm wrapping up.
Spygate, Obama was in charge. Collusion hoax, Obama's in charge. The Hillary email scandal, Obama's in charge. The bribery scandal, Obama's in charge. There's a common thread. This isn't a conspiracy theory. What did I just say that's not factually accurate? Now, as this Biden scandal explodes with this allegation that he took a $5 million bribe as vice president, Obama's vice president,
at least.
Keep that in mind. Andy Biggs appeared on Fox yesterday. He was talking about these massive payoffs they have bank records of. They now have bank records. Nobody disputes the authenticity of these bank records flowing into the Biden Inc. crime network while he's vice president. Nobody disputes it.
Nobody disputes it. And yeah, President Trump is saying that he's going into Fort Knox. Check if there's gold. Chuck Grassley saying, I can attest to being a freshman representative, then member of the banking committee. I went there to check on the gold in 76, and it was there then. Yeah, 76 is a long time ago. That's 49 years ago. So there you go. Sean Farash saying, I've listened to every episode of the Dan Bongino show since episode 628 back in the Spygate days. I can smell the deep state hacks like John Brennan, James Clapper, Jim Comey, Christopher Wray, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page crapping themselves from here. The deputy FBI director Bongino era is going to be awesome. So there you go. Those are the stories I wanted to give you today on the TNAM AM show. I want to thank you for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the hearts button, hit the thumbs up button, hit for notifications. Follow us on Signal and Telegram, TNAM and TNAM Chat, TNAM for The New American Media and TNAM Chat. Also link up with the Agree to Disagree show. That's the umbrella that we will put the TNAM AM show under. I consider calling this the Agree to Disagree show, but this one's different. It's kind of unpacking the news of the day in the morning. You know, getting into afternoon here. Some days a little earlier, some days a little later. And this it definitely might shift into an evening show. So be prepared if we're going to radically shift to the TNAM PM show. It's okay. We'll unpack the news at the end of a long day. No big difference. We're going to probably do Agree to Disagree, shifting into getting more special guests on. I think we have one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And we should have another guest on Friday at 5 p.m. So keep your eyes peeled for that, or 3 p.m. To be continued. We'll announce it. Please follow the New American Media page on Facebook, on Instagram, the New American Media on Truth Social, the New American Media on Rumble, the New American Media on YouTube. We are at American_media_ on X. On patreon.com/the New American Media. You can sign up to be a sponsor if you'd like to contribute to our program. We humbly request your kindness. It's always appreciated. It keeps us going. We're on Venmo at Brian Engelman, PayPal at Fuzz Installment, and Cash App $ Brian Engelman. Those are the ways you can contribute to our independent media. We've expended a lot, last year to go to the Milwaukee convention for the Republicans, the Democrat convention in Chicago, the Libertarian convention in Washington, D.C., equipment upgrades, Restream studio upgrades. It's been a lot. And while the donations have not completely covered that by any stretch, it has helped offset some of that, which is huge. It's huge. We love covering these stories because we want you to kind of have a good idea of what's happening on this earth, in this country. It's a service. It's something we consider this giving back to the community, trying to set things straight and highlighting important issues. It's like we'd say, like, we'd do it for free, but it's like, well, if we can get the right sponsorship, the right community support, we can do this full time, because every month that stuff adds up. And I kept telling myself, I just got to get through the election. We were in DC for the inauguration as well. So now it's been about a month, and it's time to shift a few things around. So follow the New American Media in all the places. Download our podcast, like I said, the Agree to Disagree show on Spotify and iTunes. And we will probably be back tomorrow for another episode of the TNAM AM Show. Signing out here. I appreciate you.